Alright guys, welcome back. It is 2 weeks since we were here last and we have got the block back from the machinist. So it has been decked, honed, crank has been linished. Good news was, yeah, it didn't need anything more than that, so we didn't have to grind the crank or overbore or anything like that. Very, very good news. We've got a set of Nitto rods. And we're still staying with standard pistons, but we've got all new bearings, new piston rings. So the job today is to measure everything up. Fingers crossed we've bought the right stuff, because we've had to preemptively buy stuff because we're on a very, very tight deadline. Event is next week, 1 week pretty much exactly from today. I'm sure it's going to turn into quite the rush, but fingers crossed we've got everything that we need and it's correct, and we'll start smashing out with some work. Got Danny here again, helping me out. So let's get to it. Danny's making a start on cleaning everything up because I'm going to be busy finishing off this alignment. I don't know if I've spoken in the videos before, but we are at Traction Tyres in Roval. This is where I work, and more specifically do a lot of wheel alignments. Got a couple of cool cars in at the moment. 500 horsepower LS86, because, you know, why not? Nice wide body 33, and the usual nuggets. Sorry, Costa. What are we doing here, Wizard Danny?
Since we've got new rods, we'll just, first off, without the bearings in them, we'll just checking that they're round using dial bore gauge. All sweet. So put the bearings in. I measured the crank journals before, tightened the rod caps, measured the inside diameter, then we worked out the clearance from there.
It's spot on.
They're bloody beautiful.
Every single one is like bang on. So that's some good news. Given this is, you know, a kind of cross your fingers and hope sort of build. We are ready to bolt the main caps and girdle back in to measure for our main bearing tolerances.
We sure are.
We have made a quick pit stop to the servo because I am running on fumes, and this is going to fix that, I'm sure.
Same 0.63.
Good start.
Definitely.
We are measuring piston ring gaps. We're still running standard pistons. It's not like it's out of spec, but it's a little bit higher than we were aiming for.
It's all you need to breathe.
For some reason, the rings that came out of the engine are tighter than the new rings we have, and we've checked against 2 sets of new rings, at least on the top ring anyway. We will be using the rings that came out of it. Who knows how many Ks they've done, but apparently they're better than brand new. We have some piston damage. Yeah, I don't know if that will show up on camera. It looks to be some pitting of sorts, and that's on 3 out of 4 pistons. I mean, we had scoring in 2 of the bores, which is the main reason we needed honing, so it's no surprise there's some light stuff. I'm too tired to think. My feet hurt. I'm gonna put the crank in now and then call it a day. Terrible at filming. You'll just see us standing around scratching our heads a lot. Shut up, Danny. The crank is now in the engine, and we have a nice, smooth feeling rotating assembly. Good sign that we haven't fucked something up.
Definitely a good start.
So now we are just going to check and float. We've got our dial gauge set up.
Just about 3,000.
I'm pretty sure I saw like maybe 4.
Yeah.
Quite a little dodginess there. Factory spec is between 4,000 and 10,000 from what I can find, and we're 7,000, so we are well and truly smack bang in the middle. Even if we're 1,000 out on our accuracy, I'm not worried. That is pretty much us for the night. We will pack up and revisit this tomorrow, and I'm also picking up my car back from paint tomorrow. Exciting times. It is the next day. We have a car back. It looks freaking amazing. It has been down at Anthony's Minis paint and panel. Way too clean for me, you know. So we got a little bit of assembly to do. Yeah, I'm stoked. I'm wrapped. He's done an awesome job. We saw our damage we had before. Fixed up, looking schmick. Pretty much had to paint just about every bit of the car. So the boot had to get repaired, spoiler had to get repaired, all 4 quarters, blah, blah, blah. This side skirt, this door got replaced, pods and volants. We've got a CA lip that was being repaired, so we'll have the full kit back on it, which I haven't had for a while, since the car was probably put together about 2 years. 2 years ago. We are still very, very tired. But we're keen, aren't we, Danny? We got our energies. Yeah. We've had our KFC, so we're ready to get back into it. We're just gonna work out what pistons are running. Danny's brought in his NA pistons and 3 turbo pistons, so we'll go over all of them and work out what we're gonna use. All right, we're back. These are my turbo pistons, of which I only have 1 really good one. This is the relief for the oil squirter. Danny's pistons, which he's got 3 good ones of, all have a different relief. We're a little bit worried about running a different style of that, whether they're going to be balanced or a matched set at all. We were hoping maybe to use the NA pistons, but there's going to be basically too much headache with that. I think trying to find a match set of pistons is going to be the better option. I have rung a mate of mine. He has got a set of pistons, not all perfect, but they look like they're the same style as Danny's. So I'm going to head down there now. This is Ryan. Ryan is going to hopefully help us out with a good piston. Also, this is Ryan's awesome S15, which he thinks isn't clean, but I still think is amazing. What do you got here? Yes, you do have the same style of reliefs as Danny's 3 pistons. Well, we only need 1 good one out of these then?
Yeah.
We now have 4 pistons. Danny's been here doing our piston ring gap. We are basically just now pulling, or Danny's pulling off the rings off the set of 4 that we are running, and they all now have the same relief. So we'll strip them down, pull these rods apart, or pull these rods out of these pistons, and then the Nitto rod's attached, and then assemble our new rings into it. And it's actually time to put the pistons and rods in the block. It is a few hours later probably. Been cleaning up our pistons, mainly focusing on cleaning out where the rings go. Made a big difference. Danny has been assembling some stuff. By stuff, I mean rods. These fat boy Nittos. Shouldn't have to worry about pushing the SR as hard as we have been. All our pistons and rods are assembled. We're calling it a day. Back for another day of work. Robin is here updating our fuel pump wiring. We had a few issues at the last event, which he fixed for us, and we're now updating so we don't have any issues in the future. Danny is continuing with the engine, and I'm slowly piecing back together some of the body. In our tired state yesterday, we forgot to put the oil squirters in first. Day before yesterday, so you don't even know what day it is anymore. We can get to them, but that'll be a little bit fiddly. So let's do that before we go any further. Mr. Danny has got all our oil squirters in now. I've just been cleaning up a few of our parts, like our timing cover, cleaning up the rest of the lower pan and sump. And Danny's now getting ready to put the rods and pistons into the engine. Robin's pretty much done with everything that we can do so far. We just need to get a couple bulkhead fittings for the pump hanger.
I've made it as simple as I can. I've just done a fuse holder. It's over engineered. That's a 70 amp relay. The wiring can handle up to 60 amp.
So now nothing but the fuse will be our weak link, which before basically our wiring and relay was as weak as the fuse essentially.
And that's what kills pumps.
Yes, so
Inappropriate wiring. You've got enough length to play with. This is your internal wire from the pump to the bulkhead to pump.
the old janky setup. Lot neater setup now. So, and yeah, before like our relay was mounted here, and whenever I was towing to the car, this would be packed full of stuff anyway. Towing to the track, I should say. And often things would knock into the relay and stuff, so now it's out of the way. And we'll be able to put the factory little cover over this thing as well, if I can find it. Alrighty, she's all together. Would you like to do the honors, mate?
I certainly would, mate. For that.
Would you look at the action on that baby? Bloody beautiful.
So it's nice and freely, consistently.
Yep. Very, very, very happy boys.
Hell yeah.
It's going to be good for 1,000,000 horsepower now. We are further along. All the timing gear is on, so we are ready to put the timing cover on. Danny is about to put some sealant on. We have primed our oil pump with some assembly lube, greased up the seal. I have forgotten to order a gasket for my pickup, so I will need to get one of those ASAP. So we'll put as much together as we can. So we just started this one, so it sits in there. Got the little windage tray in. We can still put the lower pan on for now. Lower pan's going on now.
It is on.
Yeah, well, it is on, yep. We're talking it because, you know, we talked everything else, so why not talk the lower pan too? I'm pretty sure I said before, but I forgot to order a gasket for this, so that's staying loose and we're not putting on the sump yet. Hopefully I can get one of those tomorrow. We're pretty much finishing up for the night now. That will call it a day. Anyway, smashing goals, it's all coming together. It's another day. Sump is now on. Couldn't find a new pickup gasket in time, but I had another SR20 around the corner. Pulled that apart and it had a metal gasket in it. We're ready to flip her over and move on to the head. So our engine is nearly complete. Got Top Dog here helping. You putting it together, mate? SR20s are the best, yeah? Yeah? Yeah, so he agrees, yep. As you would have seen in the time lapse, just remember to put our dowels in the top of the block for our head. Remember to put our block breather in, because you cannot put that in after the head is on. And I would have liked to put a new head gasket in it, but I have run out of money completely. So we have copper spraying the old head gasket, cleaned it up, copper sprayed it, and she should be sweet. As you would have just seen, the head is now on and torqued up. It is starting to look like an engine again, and Cooper approves. Let's go, boy. Come on. Oh, not my quarter. Trying something different. I am just getting around to bleeding lifters now, and it's pretty straightforward. Just got a bit of wire. You can use anything thin. You're essentially going to push through that top hole. You might have to wiggle it around, but you'll find a spot where it actually pushes down, and then this will actually push in and out where it doesn't normally, and it actually bleeds itself through that hole. And then you cannot turn it upside down or lean it sideways once you've done that. Drop it straight in the engine, and it's as simple as that. All our lifters are in and bled. We just put all our shims. Danny's just dunking our rockers.
Yeah, where's my oil?
Yeah, right here, mate.
Sick.
Make it even easier for you.
Yeah. This cap is really small.
Yeah?
It's like full stock.
I thought you just put one side in and then put the other, not try and put the whole thing in it.
It slipped.
You can't just throw these in without machining one side of the rocker arm. So factory it'll have a little slit like that, the other side won't. So you actually do have to machine them down so it's the tiniest bit just so they clear properly. Also, Martini are going to be hooking us up with a discount code soon. I'm not sure exactly what it'll be yet, but by the time this video comes out, I shall put it in the description. So props to them, awesome. And look at this, a new dipstick. This is something I've needed for a long time because I'm sure you can.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yes, it was only, you can see that right here, how nice and wonky that was. Good news! We have an SR20 and it looks like an SR20, which means we're mostly back to, well, but 99%, yeah, minus rocker cover. Yes, it's getting painted, that's why it's not here. She's all back together, alternators on, sumps on, heads on, exhaust manifold and turbos on, intake manifolds on. We are literally complete minus rocker cover now. I do need to get one new fitting. There was a bit of damage on the sealing surface for one of the adapters for the turbo feed, so I'll get that replaced. So we're gonna go get some dinner, throw that bad boy on the hoist, and hopefully put the engine in the car. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Now I'm getting real keen. Cooper's keen too, but he's tired. Goodbye. Oh, Cooper. Hey, who's your good boy? Who's your good boy? Oh, yes, yes. Cooper's excited too. Car is on hoist. We've got our sandwich plate and flywheel on. And yeah, we are ready to put an engine in the car, which feels pretty good. So hopefully we haven't forgotten anything.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Hopefully we don't start a Nissan space program with the rods and pistons.
No.
We have faith in that.
We are a lot further along, as you can tell. We have got power steering pump back on, belts are all adjusted, fans on, alternators adjusted, radiators in, oil lines for the cooler and remote filter are all done, throttle cable's done, lines for the wastegate are done. We are making progress. Great success. Great success! That is definitely going to be us tonight. It looks like I can see the end now, you know? Very keen.
We got this, mate.
Yeah, Hundy.
Let's go.
It is another night. We have been working pretty hard. Haven't been filming pretty much at all. Don't have a lot of time left. Got our bulkhead terminals in there now. We do need to change these ring ends. We put 8mm ones on, but the bolts are 6mm, so we'll swap that out tomorrow. We put the hanger back in, sealed it all up, and my tank has been dinted in the bottom for quite a while. Basically sealed it up, blew air into this line, and the thing popped straight back into shape. But upon further inspection, my baffle is very, very badly damaged. It's barely attached anymore. And missing a bit. So that will probably explain why my surging issue has been getting worse and I've had to keep it topped up a lot more than I used to have to. So we're going to remove this entirely at the moment just because I don't want it falling off or like arcing out on a tank or anything. That has happened to Danny before. So I'll pull that out for now and I'll just focus on keeping it 100% topped up. But then we're probably going to have to put a surge tank in this pretty soon. Gearbox is in, so clutch is on, shifter's in. Just in the process of putting starter motor and all that sort of stuff back together. Hoping to make dyno tomorrow night. We'll see how that goes. This baffle is out. It's supposed to go straight across there. Pretty much held on with one tack up the top and one clip. And I don't even know how the hell this thing has actually folded itself over in the tank. No idea. Anyway, at least we know that won't cause any specific issues from that banging around. We'll just have to be careful with our fuel level and for this event anyway, and I'll make sure we get a surge tank in straight after that because I do not want to be blowing this engine up from leaning it. Tank back in car, tail shaft in, drive shaft in. We've got most of a drive line together. A few minor things to do tomorrow. Hopefully we make it all good, but at least we're on track, I think, to get there, no problem. I'd like to finish up as early as possible, obviously, in case we run into any other issues, but smashing goals. Gearbox all in, starting up starter motor now. Cross members all done up, all the bells and bolts done up final. Tail shafts in, drive shafts in, exhaust is on, fuel tank's back in too. I am buggered. Gonna keep pushing on. I'd rather smash out as much as I can as early as possible and have time to spare to relax than be doing this the night before the event. Might start doing some wiring or something like that. Put some fluid in the clutch, start bleeding that up too, and that way the drivetrain or drive line start of things is done. Thought I'd share my handy little idea. If anyone has trouble filling up brake fluid or anything without making a mess, just drill a hole in your lid and put a tyre valve in it. Capped, sealed, stays like that in my spare parts box and makes life 10,000 times easier. I've been slaving away. We've got the clutch bled. Wiring loom is pretty much run. Massive pain in the ass getting everything back through the intake. It was hard enough getting it out of there, let alone feeding it back through. But everything's run through as much as we can. Just a few sensors need to be plugged in when all the intake, cooler pipe and etc. go back on. Just about to do the transmission fluid. Got our Martini 7590 track oil. I'm done for the night. Cooler piping is on. Seem to have misplaced or maybe stole it for something else, but I need to grab another hose clamp for the intake to go on. But everything's tightened up now. Run the O2 sensor wiring inside. Harder than it sounds because it's in a pain in the ass spot up in the kick panel area. Yeah, I had to run all my wiring to the inside of my intake manifold. I'm sure we will be continuing this tomorrow night. I was really hoping to get this thing on the dyno tomorrow, but we'll see how everything lines up. I'm still waiting on a turbo feed fitting. Gotta get some new terminals, different size terminals for the bulkhead fittings into the tank. Put oil in it, make sure it's got oil pressure, put a rocket cover on it, crank it. Hopefully it fires up and take it to the dyno till tomorrow. It's the next day. Back at it again. Danny's back. Danny's dead. I am also dead, but I'm wide awake. Running on adrenaline. I don't know. I've done some stuff during lunchtime and stuff, so motor's got mostly full of oil. Probably have to top it up once it's cranked and bled everywhere. Water's got radiator in it. Gonna bleed that when it's running again. What?
You can tell you're tired. The water's got radiator in it.
Did I say that?
You do.
Scratch that. Whatever I meant to say is, yeah. See, I can't even put a sentence together. Oh, spark plugs. Oh, and the fuel pump wiring is all sorted now. Just left it off for when we first crank, obviously. Don't want any fuel, we're just trying to build oil pressure. Just got the jumper pack hooked up because we might be cranking for a while. Do you want to do the honors and turn the key, or? Ooh. Yeah, I'm scared now. Don't blow up.
Crank it?
I guess. Nothing yet. Hey! Yeah. I was definitely starting to get worried.
We primed the pump well then.
Yep, and they all sprayed out real good.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's mad.
Yeah.
Ready to send the rocket cover on and...
Yeah, pretty much. Rocker cover on, plug the coil packs in, put the fuel pump on. We'll double check if fuel leaks before we actually start it. We're going to the dyno! Hell
Exciting.
I'm keen. I'm so keen now. This is our new custom rocker cover, isn't it, Danny? Fresh paint and all.
I wonder what happened there.
I wonder what happened there too.
So you see what happened, I was supposed to paint it and I was sanding it, yeah? And then I accidentally like kicked the stand it was on and it fell. One of these corners on that side, it kind of broke off and I was like, oh dearie me.
Yeah. It did kind of broke off, it definitely broke off.
It definitely broke off, it was definitely detached.
Yeah.
But luckily, we have a very nice friend who's a gun welder. Welded it on, Bob's your uncle. Almost wouldn't even be able to tell, that's how good of a job he did.
Put out a little Tarks to dress up bolts in black, of course, but you know, black is always best. Goes with everything. We'll go really nice with this new colour that you see. Got our fuel pump wired up, hopefully. Here are prime now. Hopefully we got no leaks. Sweet. I think we're all good. Holding pressure. Double check the oil level before we actually go to start it.
For me, before you start, I need to...
Bang on. Right, give her a couple cranks.
Arkada altar kar var, kırkada kırgar.
That started up fucking mint. How good is that? So yeah, we were flying out on the guys of that. How healthy. High five, Mr. Danny. We built his engine and it runs. Now we can get on the dyno later on.
So we're loaded up and we're ready to hit the dyno, bed in the rings and checked over the motor.
And then send it. Hell yeah. We've just got back from the dyno and it went well, didn't it, Danny?
Very well.
We are absolutely wrapped. That is a massive stress relief for us. We've been smashing out work as hard as we possibly can in these last few days because we wanted to give ourselves a little bit of leeway in case there was anything we weren't seeing or forgetting, or if in case something goes wrong and we needed time to fix it. Only got a couple small things. The main one that I've got to do is it's got a small exhaust leak just at the turbo alignment, change the sway bar links, just a few little things to tidy up. She pretty much made the same power as before. We're on a different tire, so it's hard to compare. The last time we were at like 85% duty cycle and injector, we made 310. Now on like 100%, it was only showing like 295. So that should theoretically be more, but we can't exactly compare it just because the tire size and tire type is different. So yeah, I backed it down a little bit, but I'm sure it'll make the same, if not a touch less. I don't really care. This thing absolutely blazes on a street tire. We're getting very keen. So close to SA. She's gonna rip. Time to get it unloaded, try and sleep, a little bit. The day after the dyno, been buttoning up those little things we found. We had a turbo manifold leak yesterday and went to try and tighten the V-band up and get it seated properly. Pulled it all apart. We've actually broken a V-band. That would have been the cause of our problem, despite the fact that I retightened it before we went to the dyno. So we've only got a new one. We've got a genuine Garrett V-band clamp on there now. It is a hell of a lot more heavy duty than the one that came with the turbo. We had a little water leak from this fitting here. Gone and got some new copper washers and that's fixed that. Rebladed the cooling system, topped up the power steering fluid. Yeah, engine wise sorted now. Just go do a service on it, seeing as it's a new motor. So we'll just flush it before the weekend. I'll do that tomorrow. Only feels like little things, but it still takes so damn long. I'm gonna try and throw the front end of this thing back together now. So it's got a bumper bar, front bit of the pods, and the skirts, and the rear pods and such on. See how far I get tonight. Finalise stuff tomorrow. I gotta do a new rack end, because that's worn out on the left-hand side, new sway bar links. That's all I have to do before the alignment. Yeah, might be able to sneak it in during work tomorrow, but we'll see how we go. See how busy we are. And I'm done for tonight. Looking a bit more like a car. So I've got the bumper bar back on, the front skirt pods back on. One of my headlights back on. I'm actually picking up the other one. Mate of mine, shout out Clive, has repaired my broken headlight from one of my crashes. So that is going in there. If you spot some of the photos on my Facebook, the last two events, I've actually had a double projector in one side. She's got the RPF ones back on the rear. God, I love fucking having this thing on all 4 matching wheels. Looks freaking sick. Thanks to the drayers, John and Beck, we have got a tow car and trailer for South Australia. I was going to be using Danny's ute and trailer, but they're flying down and we're looking for someone to carry some luggage for them as well. And they actually offered their whole car because we didn't have any extra space to take stuff. So this means we get a tilt tray, fits my car in there easy, whereas my car, you pretty much have to smash the front wheels into the side of the trailer to get it on there. So this will make life a lot easier. And it's a nice, probably more fuel efficient, comfortable ride to get down there with electric trailer brakes. And mine has not had brakes in like a year. Be back at work tomorrow and then hopefully get some stuff done. Hopefully have a reasonable sleep because we are leaving at Sparrows on Saturday to make it down there for the practice. I got to sort out my tires and all my, obviously need to still pack. I need to do all the prep. I need to do, get all my spares, everything loaded up. So there's still be another big night in it tomorrow, but we'll see how much I can get done during the day. It's the night before we're leaving and she's all ready. Hot damn. Cannot thank Mi's Paint and Panel enough. This thing looks absolutely insane. By far the best this thing has looked in the whole time I've owned this car, which is saying something because it's had a pretty hard life. In the last, what is it, 3 years I've had this thing. Huge shout out to Martini Racing. Makes my life easy. I've gone through a lot of oil lately, even just like, just with rebooting the engine, having to dump brand new oil out of it and put fresh oil in it. Great to have a local company with good people to deal with. Think that it was worth coming on board with me, which is great. Obviously got Shockworks to thank as always. Like this car is on rails for such a slammed ass car. Been working with them a fair bit with the setup on the back of this thing. Well, front end rack I should say. Got Life of Motorsport heading to their Drive to 5 event in 4 weeks, I think it is. That's back in South Australia again. Cannot forget Traction Tyres, where I am right now. This is my dad's business, and thanks to him, I was able to do a little bit of work during work today. So we're not going to be, well, we better not be fucking still here at 1 AM. We shouldn't be. I've just got to do some prep for the event, load up, and yeah, go get some fuel and do a few other things like that, and then pack up my stuff at home. That has been a huge help, and obviously I steal the workspace and I make a mess. Yeah, whoops. I've got to thank Travis and my mate Ben from Elite Manufacturing. Not that you can see much other than a gear stick, but they went over all the gearbox, double checked it. I was having some shifting issues at the last event. It actually ended up being clutch related issues. I was overthrowing the clutch basically. But they went through the whole box, inspected it, put a few new things in it, just upgraded detents. Everything else checked out good, bearings good, synchro's good. We got stiffer shifter springs now. That was the one thing it was lacking. The shifter springs were not stiff enough. Feels awesome. I'm keen to actually give it a proper crack. Didn't get time to like completely sort the clutch. I've adjusted the clutch pedal a lot from where it was. I think a lot of the issue was when it was concentric slave, I struggled to get it bled when it was first like dry with a brand new slave, which is what we had in it before the last event. Yeah, when I got to the track, the pedal position actually bled better and it come up. And what I think it was just, yeah, it was just pushing too far. So I've adjusted that a lot way now. So it only disengages, and then just, you've only got like 10 mil pre-play before that bottom pedal stop. And yeah, I don't think we'll have that issue anymore. But we might want to send the clutch off to them after this event just to get them to check it out and make sure everything's all good with it. Minis Paint and Panel. Can't say it enough. I bloody well hope I can keep it this clean. Anthony up there and the boys there, they have done an insane job, and I cannot thank them enough. It's almost too pretty to take it on track now. Anyway, I'll wrap this up there. Next you will see I will be in SA. So hopefully I remember to bring the GoPro. We'll see, we've got practice on Saturday. This is an extreme entry comp, so you know I'm going to be shooting for that one. We'll see how we go. I've got, yeah, scrappies for Saturday. I think it's going to be raining, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully not too bad. And then Sunday I think it's going to be dry, which will be good. That's a comp. I'm sure the lighting is playing tricks, because it did on some of the videos I noticed, because there's lighting in here when it's dark outside. Just shows like crap on the camera. But take my word for it, this thing looks insane. And this was a rush. This is a rush job, mind you. So he's knocked it out of the park. Fixed up a hell of a lot of damage that we had on the back, like it was never there. Alrighty, till the next video.